Welcome to the Deacon. Today I want to talk again about some of the symbolisms in my tattoos. I've got this one here, if you can see. Let me see. Well, there is Jesus Christ. That's a self-portrait of me, saving me from the death and sin, and symbolizing that I put him on the cross. Then we've got the raven over here, sitting on the Bible, pointing toward the Bible. If you haven't heard the stories about my raven stories and Pastor Bob's raven stories, then check out my raven stories. It's called here on the Sanctuary International Matrix, Pastor Bob Beeman YouTube channel. But what I wanted to talk about today is all the bats flying around. Surrounding the raven, and I've always liked reptiles and bats and interesting animals. And one time I've experienced how Satan has when I am in the hands of God, all that he can do is try to scare me, and he's been using bats to do that. and it's kind of strange because I really like bats, and I can hear bats when they squeak, which can be pretty annoying sometimes, and that I have to go inside if I'm outdoor and they're hunting food and they're very loud. There was this one time where I was in a very very frustrated, and one of my friends had just died that evening, and I went for a run out in the wilderness after dark in the middle of the woods. And then I was running out on this road, and suddenly I heard these screaming bats, and it was not bats like I've heard them before. It was like screaming, like terrifying kids or something, just screaming at me. They flew from the back ahead of me and turned around, and this whole time I was praying. It was like I was inside of a bubble, and in this bubble there's just me and God was just listening, and I was just sharing my heart. So these bats fly ahead of me, and they turn around, and they're screaming, and then they hit something like a few feet ahead of me, a couple of meters, just an invisible wall, hit it, fall right down on the concrete on the road. They are bashing their wings, and then they fly up again, and they scream, and they come back at me, and they hit this invisible wall, the bubble, the bubble I was in. And they do that a few times, screaming like I've never heard it before, hitting the bubble. Nothing hurts me, and while this is happening, I'm running. And I am praying, and I'm just wondering, I'm just observing this from a couple of meters away while praying, and wondering, what is this? I've never experienced this before. But all the devil could do and all the darkness could do was to try to scare me, because I was in the hands of God, and He is faithful, and He was so near to me that day out in the woods, and gave me a peace and a comfort that I really needed. I was a teenager, and my friend had just died. Just died. So God can use any situation, especially when we're desperate and praying to Him. And it says in 2 Corinthians that Paul is talking about that he's rejoicing when he's got hardships, and when he's getting insulted, and trials and so on and so forth, because when he's weak, he's strong, meaning in his weakness Jesus Christ can take over and show His power. And when we lay our lives down to Christ, let Him take over, we are strong through Him. So in our weaknesses we're strong, and encouragement to seek God in all situations. And He often feels really near when we're in trouble, because that's when we really focus on Him. So I got these bats tattooed to remind me that it might seem dark, but it just makes me so happy to know. It's a reminder that God is so much more powerful than anything, anyone, anything. And He's my God. So I wish you the power of Jesus Christ to be with you today.